Now, this bill presented in Florida about not being able to talk about periods or even say the word period until the 6th grade. Animals like dogs go into heat. It is a natural biological function that you're going to terrify a group of young girls if you're not allowed to talk about it, because it's not like their parents are talking about it. My period talk, when I was, 12, my mom was in the bathroom. She opened up the door and she yelled at me to bring her a pad, passed it to her through the door. And she went, "You're going to need these one day. Shut the door." That was it. What was I supposed to do with that?
Yeah. Where do I put it?
Need it for what? For
Around your arms.
It looks like a floating device for my Barbie doll. What am I supposed to do with this? The average age of a 6th grader is like 10, 11. Girls are getting their periods younger and younger. So an 8-year-old can get her period and not be allowed to talk about it, not be allowed to express herself and figure out what's going on. At 8, I don't know if she'd have the wherewithal to go on the internet and Google it. And if she did, it would probably tell her that she was dying anyway. So you're just terrifying this group of young girls. The land of the free is now infringing on the First Amendment right of an entire population until they get to a certain age, because it makes people feel uncomfortable. Stop making young girls feel ashamed of it. Stop letting young men be afraid of it. It is just a thing that happens.
Why you've got to teach young girls as young as possible when they can understand it, really, is because kids need to know if someone's fucking with them. Because if you think you're not going to teach these young girls about periods, that means you're not going to be teaching her about a lot of other stuff too. And then you get some men who say shit like, "Well, if it bleeds, it can breathe." Like, yeah. And then so what? If she's like, "Okay, I'm 8 years old and I've got my period, but I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but that means I can now be sexually active because some fuckhead's groomed her and she doesn't understand what any of that is." You know?
It's just a terrifying thing. It's a basic physiological, biological function. Half population experiences it. And the fact that they can't talk about it until an age that they have just arbitrarily pulled out of their asses. What is the risk of telling girls in the 3rd, 4th grade, this is going to happen to you one day and this is how you deal with it and this is what it is? What's the risk of that? Because the downside of not telling them is that you've got a bunch of scared little girls. You've got a bunch of girls who feel shame because of what's happening to their body and they don't understand it. They're afraid because they're all of a sudden they just start bleeding out for no reason that they have no idea why. They don't feel they can talk to anybody about it.